Finally, your garden can start looking the way you imagined. This is usually the time of year when things start to change. You've cleaned up the garden, opened the soil, started planting, and now, for the first time, you can actually start to see it come together. Not just plants in the ground, but something that feels more like a space. And this is where most people get stuck, because you don't know what to do next to bring it all together. This is the movement. Your garden stops controlling you and you start shaping it. Up until now, everything you've done has been preparation, cleaning, opening, getting the space ready, and that's important because without that, nothing really works. But this stage is different. This is where you start shaping the garden, not just maintaining it, but actually guiding how it looks and feels. As you can see, this Portuguese laurel here, it's grown out pretty thick. A little farther than the driveway, so I'm going to cut it back pretty hard. This is end of March here, so you can see along the far hedge here, it goes all the way down the driveway and then it bubbles out right here, this huge bubble, and then goes back in, and then on the back side it's right up against the house and it's quite dark, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim back all the way along the edge here, cut back under here because it's already at my height. So I'm going to lift it up and encourage basically all this growth last year. I trimmed this back last year. All this is already flushing out. So again, laurels, you can cut back at least 50%, or even I've seen them even cut back more, and they should be okay. Okay, so here we are. Finished this part here. As you can see the driveway here before, and then the big bubble is gone. I'm going to trim the top with a hedger later on, but this is all by loppers because the huge branches are huge. This year it'll flush in again. You can see this was all dark when I started this morning. Now I basically cut from here all the way across and then down, cut out this huge lump. Side angle, so you can see now the hedge is lined up and it's going to curve around the corner. And you can already see a lot of the shoots coming up in the inside, so this will have no problem coming back this year. So this is all new growth that was behind, so now all these stems are getting full sun. Everything should branch out here, and this year it should thicken up a little bit, and then into next year it'll thicken up more, and I'll do another prune next year to shape it again. But yeah, laurels you can cut 50%, don't worry about it, they'll regrow, no problem. You're not going to harm them. There we go. This is something I'm working on today. Just going through this hedge back into the old growth, bringing it back into a clean line. Nothing complicated, just small adjustments. And you can already see the difference. It looks tighter, more defined, more intentional. Because when growth is left on its own, it becomes uneven. It spreads out, it loses its form, and the whole space starts to feel a bit messy again, even if everything is healthy. So this step is not about fixing problems, it's about direction. You're deciding where the line is, where things stop, where things flow. And once you do that, the garden starts to feel different, more settled, more structured, easier on the eye. And this is the shift. You're no longer reacting to what's happening, trying to catch up, trying to fix things. You're stepping in earlier, making small controlled changes. And over time, those small adjustments add up. The garden holds its shape better, it requires less effort later, and it starts to look the way you imagined it from the beginning. Because now, you're not just maintaining the garden, you're guiding it. And if you don't shape your garden, it won't fall apart overnight, but it will slowly lose its structure. This is a step a lot of people skip. They plant, they water, they take care of things, but they don't shape the space. And at first, everything still looks fine because plants are growing, they're healthy, there's movement, there's life. But over time, things start to drift. Edges soften, lines disappear, plants begin to overlap and compete for the same space. And it's not obvious right now. It happens slowly, week by week, until one day you step back and something feels off, not because anything is dying, but because the garden has lost its clarity. It feels a bit crowded, a bit unclear, like everything is blending together without direction. And that's the part many people don't expect, because a healthy garden doesn't always mean a well-structured one. So when you take this time early in the season to shape things properly, you're not just making it look better today, you're setting the structure for everything that follows. And that changes how the garden behaves. Growth stays more controlled, plants have space to develop properly, you're not constantly cutting things back later, trying to fix what's already overgrown. So instead of reacting, you stay ahead of it, making small adjustments now so you don't have to make big corrections later. And that's what makes it easier. Less effort over time, less frustration, and a garden that actually holds its form through the whole season. Because structure is what makes everything else works. You don't need to fix everything, just focus on these 3 things. If you're standing in your garden and you're not sure where to start, don't overthink it. You don't need a big plan, just focus on a few simple moves to make the biggest differences. First, clean the edges. Look at the lines in your garden, where the lawn meets the bed, where your planting meets a path or patio. When those edges are clear, everything feels more finished, more intentional, even if nothing else changes. It's one of those fastest ways to make the whole space feel more put together. Second, light pruning. You don't need to cut hard. You're not reshaping everything. You just go in and remove what doesn't belong, weak growth, branches that have stretched too far, dead branches, anything that throws the plant out of balance. Bring it back in slightly, tidy it up, like what I did in this hedge earlier. And that alone can change how the whole garden feels. Third, give things space. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They plant too close, or they let things grow into each other. But plants need room, not just to survive, but to grow into their natural shape. So sometimes the best thing you can do is actually take a step back, open up a bit of space, let each plant breathe, and when you do that, the garden fills in properly over time. Not crowded, not forced, but balanced. And that's the goal here, not to do more, but to do a few things well and let the garden respond. This is where the garden starts to feel calm, not chaotic. When you do this right, something changes. The garden feels lighter, more open, more intentional. You're not constantly fixing things, you're just maintaining a system that already works. And that's what most people are looking for, not perfection, just a space that feels good to be in. This is where gardening starts to feel simple, because you're not guessing anymore. So if you've made it this far, you're already done the hard part. You've prepared the space, you started planting, you've taken that first step. Now it's not just about doing more, it's about making a few small adjustments that bring everything together. Tightening the edges, shaping the plants, giving them the space they need. And when you focus on that, the garden starts to feel different, more settled, more intentional. It's finally moving in the right direction. And I'm curious, what part of the garden still feels unfinished? Is it the shape, the spacing, or just not being sure what to do next? Drop it in the comments. Keep it simple, and I'll go through them and help you figure out the next step. So you're not just guessing, you're moving forward with confidence. I'm Darrell, and I'll see you out there.